Government to demand more in future oil contracts. Attorney General challenges bail for Brazilian drug smugglers. PNC members launch Guyana chapter of U.S. Democrat Party. And what the Blow Democrat Alliance means for our country. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Guyana aims to increase its oil royalties and revamp other contract terms as part of a new profit-sharing agreement for future oil and gas projects. GEORGETOWN said this will include higher royalties and mechanisms for deducting costs for investment, claiming that all the deficiencies of this current contract will be addressed. Whether or not this will happen, we will just have to wait and see. Former Minister of Finance, Winston has doubled down on his previously expressed public position that the US $18 million from Exxon was a gift and not a signing bonus, and that the administration was in fact misled by the negotiator. He explained that the monies were being represented by the negotiator as being given by Exxon for a specific purpose. According to Jordan, US $15 million of that money was earmarked for the border case, and the remaining $3 million was to be set aside for petroleum-related training. Recalling his already public position, Jordan repeated that he thought the signing bonus was a gift, because if it were a signing bonus, there is no way Exxon can tell us how to spend our money. Wise words indeed. Ha-ha! Georgetown's acting town clerk, Candace Nelson, says that no one has removed the security guards from the Georgetown mayor's home. Apparently, Ubraj Narayan told a set of people in New York that he is worried for his security, that it would be removed, and that he's worried about the safety of his family. According to Nelson, even though the mayor technically doesn't even live within the bounds of the capital city, he is still being provided security at his home, and there are no plans to take it away. Nondalol is challenging the decision by Senior Magistrate Alex Moore to grant $3 million bail each to Salam Nobrega de Alancard and Andre Luis Pereira, the two Brazilians who are charged with trafficking close to 1,000 pounds of cocaine. That's the drug plane that crashed in Oriola earlier this year, by the way. Although they were granted bail, the two remain in state's custody. Nondalol said that they remain prisoners because if they are released, not only will they be a flight risk as they have no ties to the nation, but also upon their release, they will be perpetually violating several provisions of the Immigration Act. In this case, Nondalol argues that no special reasons in law were offered by the court. Are you one of the chosen few that benefits from duty-free? Good for you! Check out these amazing vehicles that just arrived at Best Buy Auto Sales. This 2016 Toyota Harrier Grand Sport Edition, this 2014 Range Rover Evoque, and this 2016 Lexus RX 200T are all on sale. They are all fully loaded and come with all modern features. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rush Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you to get in on a sweet deal. Today, 39-year-old quarantine cutlass-wielding court crasher Julius Anthony Mutu was charged for causing public terror and possessing an offensive weapon. Earlier this month, Mutu allegedly entered the Wim Magistrate's court compound and whipped out a cutlass while asking for Magistrate Ranita Singh. He fled the scene when the court guard raised an alarm, only to be arrested days later. Mutu pleaded guilty to the crimes and was sentenced to 18 months. Several PNC supporters are at the helm of a recently launched arm of the United States' Democratic Party. The Democrats Abroad Guyana Country Committee said that its chairman, Dr. Dawn Stewart, has called on Guyanese Americans and Americans living in Guyana to join the local chapter. Stewart is an APNU-aligned city councillor. The others are Vice Chairman Larry Minister of Parks, London, Secretary Mark Archer, and Treasurer Fitzroy Corlett. The formation of the Democrats Abroad Guyana Country Committee comes at a time when at least 3 U.S. Democratic congressmen have either criticized or called on the PPP to address concerns about racial discrimination, distribution of resources, and a lack of an inclusive approach to running Guyana. the administration has been at pains to fend off those concerns and assured the US publicly that there is no discrimination. And by that I mean they gave out a set of money for absolutely no reason and then went on the offensive by disparaging a private citizen for protesting, calling the woman ungrateful because she was approved for a house lot earlier this year. So of course they couldn't be racist or discriminatory at all because they're Indian and she's black. You gotta love the deductive reasoning of these people. It's now time for today's Rolling Report. Today, the nation recorded 120 new cases. There are now 587 persons dead, 15 persons in the ICU, and 980 persons in home isolation. The total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 23,795. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Yesterday, an engine leak caused a boat to burst into flames on the Essequibo River near Bartica. The explosion burned the boat operator, Okama Brummel, on his foot before he jumped into the river for safety. He was treated at the Bartica Hospital and subsequently discharged. Don't miss the grand 50% off sale and get a free 1-month Digicel Prime bundle plan. Available at City Mall, Starbucks Square, Regent and Light Street, Massey Turkine, and Massey Providence. Shop early, limited stocks available. And now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? That instead of solving their issues like adults, the politicians of this nation would rather bring America in to solve it. If it isn't obvious by now, the PPP has been bought out by the Republican Party of the United States. Not only do the leaders of the PPP believe in the same stupid neoliberal economic policies as the Republicans, but excellent investors and management is nothing but Republicans. They've given millions more to Republican candidates than to Democrats over the years, and former CEO Rex Tillerson was Trump's Secretary of State. So don't be surprised when this government capitulates to its rich handlers in the US. Ponder this for a second. If Trump-appointed diplomat Sarah Lynch represents America's interests in Guyana, then why is she a part of Guyana's delegation at an international oil conference in America? I could be wrong, but I doubt it's to ensure that Guyana gets the fairest deal possible. This brings us to the Blow crew's desperate attempt to get Sleepy Joe and his Democrat-controlled Congress to finally start to care about the lives of anyone south of Miami. Since the PNC failed at their poor rigging attempt last year, they've attached themselves to the current African-American struggle by falsely equating our local situation to theirs in America. That's why the PNC cries racism and discrimination every time the PPP lifts a finger. Now don't get me wrong, the PPP is a spiteful party, and they do have racists among their ranks, and very discriminatory, and, just all that types of crap in there. But apparently, someone told the PNC that if you say Black Lives Matter buzzwords enough, the Democrats will apparently come to your rescue, even though they don't even like the blacks in their own country, let alone ours. Unfortunately, I fear that both parties are signing deals with two different faces of the same devil. Neither the PPP nor the PNC is going to get the support they are seeking from the United States. Just ask the poor folks in Afghanistan if you don't believe me. And if you ask me, I feel like these politicians today are just continuing the age-old tradition in our nation of selling out Guyana to the lowest bidder. And that, my friends, is pretty stupid. You there, Mr. Truck Owner. A great place to get high-quality truck parts and engine spares for low prices is Powered Automotive. They stock parts for DAF, Freightliner, Mach, International, and all models of Cummins engines. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Real thing. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we post a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, the President of Suriname is here to discuss business. What joint ventures should we and Suriname engage in? Mr. Hall said, more reliable transportation services and life skills are very important for the growth and development of both countries since they are both in the oil industry and are considered developing nations. Jay Jairam says, they should legalize the box truck routes. It's a lot quicker to go between the two countries. You know, the irony of all of that is that there's actually a GRA building right there, right off the box truck, meaning that the state doesn't care if you're smuggling as long as you pay the taxman his cut. And finally, Joshua Jagmohan says, Guyana and Suriname should work on medical. Now, is that medical cannabis by chance? Aha! Anyway, so for tonight's question, continuing with the Blow Blow Crew alliance, do you believe it will actually have implications for our politics, or am I just being paranoid as usual? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your spot is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.